Welcome to QRIDit Home Watch Edition. This explainer video will walk you through the software from the time you sign up and access your dashboard for the first time, to setting up the software, to creating a test client at your home or office, and logging in as a client to learn how to communicate back and forth within the software and how to use our mobile app. So let's get started. First, you'll have received a Welcome to QRIDit Home Watch Edition email. You just simply open this email and click the red banner to activate your. So we simply click activate your account, and now it prompts you to enter your password for the first time. So we'll enter in a password, and we'll set our password, and this logs you into your dashboard for the very first time. And here it's going to ask you if you want to go through the welcome tutorial, but for this demonstration, I'm going to say no thanks, I'm a pro already. So the dashboard is where the manager or the admin has a quick glance at any time to see what's happening on his day-to-day business. So here you have your main menu bar, which gives you access to all the meat of the software. You have your current assignments, latest reports, tutorial videos, assignment map. Right now there are no assignments as we haven't set the system up yet. So once you have assignments, that'll center the map. With assignments, you'll have the progress status. It's assigned, it's in progress, or it's completed. That'll show up on the map. We'll get into that in more details. You have an inbox here between you and your client. This is your internal communication portal within the reports. We also have this cool feature, as most home watch companies rely on the weather as they're monitoring for any severe weather, and you just simply click on View Full Forecast. It'll give you an overview. If you click the icon, it'll show the weather. You can make it regional, and it also gives you a 7-day highlight with some forecast lines and weather atlas. This opens in a separate window. Also, on the main dashboard, you have our mobile apps, and if you open this on your mobile device and click these links, it'll take you directly to adding the app to your mobile device. Next, we go to the welcome menu, and first of all, it gives you a setting of the profile for the person that signed up for the software, and this is where you can change your email or password if you decide. This person is the ultimate admin. The next is going to settings. Okay, settings is where you're going to add your logo, and you just simply click on it and choose where your file is. It's best to put a PNG file or a JPEG. This is the information that you entered when you signed up for the software. Your subdomain, which makes your system unique, is for this particular company is Quick for your demonstrations, and this rest of the information is automated when you sign up. It'll default to US standard if your company is located in the US, and your time zone should be in line with where you're located at the time you sign up. Assignment notifications. This is we're going to put 0 in here for now. This is the time when you create an assignment. This will notify the person if you put 0 in right away. If you put a 3 in here, it means that 3 days before their job they'll get a notification. So we like to set it at 0 so the person knows right away. Anywhere you see the black circle with the question mark, there's an explanation there. You just put your mouse over and hover it, and it'll explain what these items are asking you for, what information that the system is requiring from you. Here we, for example, we allow reporters to view reports. This is so the person in the field, you can turn it on or off for your reporters. Now remember, a reporter in the field is the person doing the reports. We don't call them inspectors in most states and provinces. If you're an inspector, you have to be licensed. So for Home Watch, we call the person a reporter. So this allows the person to view the reports after they've completed them on their mobile device or on their personal dashboard. Allow comment email notifications. Again, this is each time there's a comment added to an email, it will notify the manager, it will notify the client. You can turn those on or off here. Allow clients to view comments of reporters. We definitely check that. You can actually turn those comments on or off for the client in here. Next is automatically invite new clients as soon as they're created. We'll uncheck that. This allows you the option to send the invitation to the new client after you've got them installed in the system and all their information in, then you can send it. Where if you have this automatically check for automatically invite new clients, it will send the email out automatically as soon as you put their email in and save the profile. Next is modify work types. Each system comes with standard 3 work types: cleaning, home watch, and property management. Cleaning and home watch have templates pre-made into the system. Property management doesn't. The reason for that is property management, there's so many different variables, we didn't feel we could come up with a proper template to help you get started. Most property managers will have their own individual checklist for a specific property. So to add a work type, what we've done with Quick Report Systems softwares is we've allowed you the ability to have multiple services and multiple checklists for different types of service. Most home watch companies don't rely on just home watch. They have concierge services, cleaning services, maintenance, yard services, car driving services, and many other more types of services that they offer to their clients. Key holder service. So you have the option to create, for example, a new work type, and you just simply add in, we'll put in here key holder service and create, and that's it. And now you can go in and create your own templates within our system. Now you'll notice that there's an edit and delete button with key holder service, but with property management, home watch, and cleaning, there is none. These are built into the system and cannot be removed. But you have the option to edit the templates that come with the system. So that's the settings in a nutshell. We also have tutorials throughout the whole software, so if you're not sure, here's how to use the welcome menu and get you started. If you're stuck, you just click on the video, boom, it'll help you get through it. Billing, this is a billing section between your company and QRS. You'll be able to see your invoices for this system each month and what you've paid and what's current. You'll be able to download these very easily to a PDF and print them off for your records. If you have, as normal companies, you have a credit card that will expire eventually. This is just easily where you come in, change your information on your credit card, update it, and it's done for the system. Next, we have resources and support. Resources and support is where if you need some assistance, you're not sure on how to do something, you simply click the resources and support. You come here. First off, there's a FAQ page where frequently asked questions, for example, how to add a client, and it kind of walks you through the basics of it. This is the simpler version of the getting started help tutorial I'm going to show you next. If you need some help, and you'd like a support ticket done, you click this, submit the support ticket, fill in the blanks, submit it, and one of our team will get back to you within 24 hours to help you out and get you out of the problem that you may have been in. On the and this opens in a separate window. In the support resources and support, we have a link here that shows you how to add a login portal to your website, and this is really important for more than one reason. Number one, you want your clients to come to your website and log in. First of all, they're going to see, oh, I didn't realize you do concierge services, or I didn't know you offered maintenance, or I didn't know you offered cleaning services. So it allows your clients to go to your website and see what other services you do. Secondly, what it does is the more traffic that goes to your website, the higher the ranking you get. So you want to really draw your clients to your website as much as possible. Thirdly, maybe not so critical, but it sometimes forces you as the owner of a website and a business to go to your own website and log in. And sometimes you'll find things on your website, we forget to do that. And this is just a good avenue to do that. Allows you to go and look at your website, kind of forces you to do that. So, but we give you the tools here and the explanation on how to do that. Whether you have a webmaster that manages that for you or you do it yourself, this is the tools to do that. Next on the list in the welcome menu is getting started. And this is a really good part of the software. One of our main goals was to have QRIDit Home Watch software very easily to learn and have access to the videos. For example, here's the introduction video. There's how to add a client. We're constantly updating these tutorials. For example, how to create a QRID. Remember, QRID stands for QR code ID. Again, for example, anything you get stuck on here on setting up the system should be in here, and most of them will have tutorial videos. And these tutorial videos, you'll notice, are anywhere you see this box with the arrow. It's similar to YouTube's video start and stop. That's where you'll see the videos. So that's the welcome menu in a nutshell. Next we're going to do is, once you get your system, we want to set up our zones. Now, zones are critical to a certain point. You don't have to set up zones, but zones are subdivisions. They are gated communities. They are towns, they're villages, cities, subdivisions within a city. You create your own, you have them. It works on more than one purpose. Zones allow you to filter out when you're searching for a specific client. If you have a client in the north end of the city and you want to look for that person, you can narrow it down in our filter systems, which you'll see later in the video. Zones also can be used for security purposes. So for example, if you have employees that you only want to work in zone A and they cannot access a QR code in zone B, then you can block them from being in those zones. And I'll show you that later on in the video. So let's just add a couple of zones. So the first zone is zone 1, and we'll create that zone, and we'll add another zone, zone 2, to get us started. You can always come back to zones and edit these at any point and add more or delete more, or delete them. Once we've done that, we want to go into all team members, and as the admin we can go in here and we'll edit it. Now the person that signed up is the ultimate admin, and here you'll notice when the system, we signed up for the system, we didn't have any zones in there. So the first thing we want to do is add zone 1, or we can select all and add zone 2 for this person, and automatically the work types were in there, the default work types. Remember, we created key holder service, we'll add that key holder service. An admin is also a manager and a reporter. The person that signed up, the ultimate admin, is you can have more than one admin, but the person that signed up is the ultimate admin. They have the overall access to everything and can override the second admin. Excuse me. Preferred work time. This is just for reference purposes. Again, if you're not sure what the box is asking you for or how it works, you just put your mouse and hover it over the question mark and it'll explain in detail how that works. So for here, we'll just say that I like to work from 8 to 6 daily. It's just a reference for now. Contact information is not compulsory in here, and neither is the address. Notes are not compulsory, but we can enter those in at any time. After, you can always come back and edit. Again, here, so, special notes are, Randy is afraid of big cats. It's just a reference. If you're scheduling somebody and they have a big cat, maybe you might want to not send Randy. Disable assignment notifications. This is if you have a lot of assignments daily, 10, 12, 15, this person may not want to receive a lot of assignment notifications, so we can simply turn it off. We can also disable report notifications, so each time a report is sent in from the field. This is more applies to somebody that has multiple employees and you're receiving 10, 15 reports a day from each person, and each time a report comes in, the admin will receive an email notification that that's coming in. So you can turn that on or off here. This one is really important. Allow reporting with no corresponding assignment. This allows this team member to scan any CRID at any time with or without a corresponding assignment. If this is not ticked, the team member will only be able to scan a CRID the day it was assigned to them. So if you have somebody that's on the north end of town and they're scheduled to work there tomorrow, but they say, hey, I'm already here and I don't have an assignment, you can uncheck this box, or I'm sorry, you can check this box, and this will allow them to go to that QR code without having an assignment and scan it. Get access to the confidential information and the checklist for that property. Remember, if they don't have the base zone or the work type for this particular client that they're going to without an assignment, it still will not let them in. So you have to be careful and make sure that you have the base zone and work types for each employee. Once we've updated the information for the admin, we'll save the changes. And the next we're going to do is we're going to add a new team member. For this team member, we're going to add them as a reporter. So we'll simply add their name, add their email address. We'll choose the role as reporter. Now we have to choose their base zones. We'll add both zones for now. We'll choose Home Watch. This person only does Home Watch. They don't do any other service, so we'll block them from the others. We don't have to put in a preferred work time. It's just good to have for a reference. Contact info is, again, with address is not compulsory. It's optional, and notes are optional for each user. Here we're going to leave his notifications on, but we're going to allow Tester 5 to allow reporting with no corresponding assignment. So this means he can go to any QR code at any time within Zone 1 and Zone 2 under Home Watch and scan the QR code and gain access to the information. So all we need to do now is create our new user, which is Tester 5, and he's a new team member. Now, Tester 5 will receive an automated email to the email that you've entered, and that will now, he just has to, or that person has to go there, open that email, click on it, log in just the same way you did to access your dashboard for the first time, and they have their own dashboard. There is a tutorial for that. You just have to keep an eye out for it, and it's available in their system and shows them how to access their dashboard. You can easily see who's accepted their invitation and who hasn't. When it says active invited, means that they've been invited, but they have not accepted their invitation yet. If the person doesn't accept, or they say they didn't receive the email, you just simply come here, open the staff detail, and click on the resend invitation. It'll send them a new invitation to log in. And this is also where you can come in and see the person's information, and you can also come back and edit it once you're ready to add in the contact info and the address. So once we have the team member added, you can add as many team members as you'd like. The next thing we're going to do is all clients. In this particular case, we've just set up, we don't have any new clients, but I wanted to show you that if you are wanting some information on clients, how to add a client, you can actually come in here, click on the video, and it'll walk you through how to add or edit a new client or an existing client. So remember, anywhere you see the arrow in the rectangle box, that this is a video within the software. This is also where you filter each client out. So for this next step, we're going to add a new client. Adding a client is a three-step process. First, you add the client, then it automatically in the wizard takes you to add their client site, and then it'll take you right away into setting up a QR code checklist or a QRIDit checklist. So the way our system is set up, you add the client's billing address first. So we'll put in the client's name, put in their email, and this particular client is a residential. We'll put in their contact information. And we'll put in their street address. Line 2 of the address, not so bad for the billing address, but for the site address. For example, if they're a unit number, so if they're in a condo or an apartment building, the address is always the same, so you can enter in an apartment number or unit number there. So for our test purposes, we're doing this at our office here in Canada. So we put the information in. And now we have the option to disable report notifications. This client might be a busy client and they don't want to receive their email notifications. They just want to be able to log into their dashboard and see their reports. You can turn that off for them, but we leave it on in the beginning until they tell us to shut it off. You can have notes here. These are confidential notes that the client does not see, only the admin and the manager. So, you can put in here that, watch out for the dog. So watch out for the dog next door. He barks loud. Now we just simply create the client's. Now this is a billing address. Next is the site address. This is where you're going to actually perform the work. In Home Watch, most companies that look after properties, their clients, you're looking after their second home. and so their billing address is different. If the billing address is the same, it's really easy. You just click this button that says same as client's billing address, and boom, it pops it in. Now, the most critical part to this is Google Maps is great, they're accurate, but they're not always perfectly accurate. And in this case, we know for sure that it's not on site, so you can simply click the satellite view, zoom in, and we know, for example, that this house is way up the road. We just zoom in until you can see the house and drop the marker on the house. This is really, really critical. Why is this critical? There's an imaginary line called a geofence that's 500 feet perimeter around this center point, longitude, latitude. And if you're not within that 500-foot circle, when you scan the QR code, it will not let you in. To access the confidential information, the reports, it'll tell you that you're too far from the site. So it's very, very critical that you put that marker on the property when you first set it up. After that, it's just fill in the rest of the blanks. What zone this person's in, we'll call them zone 1. Again, you can put in some special notes about the actual property. We can enter in the alarm code. So we'll put in the alarm code, a safe word, some alarm companies, what alarm company it is, and if the alarm company has an emergency number. Next, we can put in instructions. Instructions are different from notes. Instructions will show up for the reporter in the field in their assignment and also in the report details. Again, the client doesn't see this. This is more to give you some specific instruction. For example, in some homeowners associations, they tell you can only drive on certain roads. You have to, if you're going into a certain building, you have to park on the left. So for this one, we'll just say, you must park on the left of the entrance. Now, when the person goes out to scan the QR code and they have their assignment on their phone, they'll be able to see this instruction, and you can add whatever you'd like in there. Smile at the gate guard, wave at the gate guard. So once we've added the site, it automatically takes us to choose basic information, and it's again another 3-step process. It's a wizard to help make it easier for you. And now we're going to create a checklist. We're going to create a checklist, and for this we call it a QRID. A QRID stands for QR code ID, and in that QRID is housed all the information that you're going to need in the field, the alarm code, the checklist, the contact information, any of the pertinent information that you need to go out in the field and do the work. So once you scan the QR code in the field, the QRID allows you to access all this information. So now we're going to set up a checklist. So we'll choose Home Watch for this particular client as their primary work type. You'll notice that the client type, client name, and their site address are already in here and you can't edit it. It's already set up in our intuitive wizard. So the next, we give it a unique QRID name. Use this like a mailbox. A QRID name, for example, if you have a condominium that you're looking after and you have 15 properties, the address is always going to be the same, but the unit number is different. If you have a client, treat it like a mailbox, but don't use their first name. For example, here we're going to put Dan as our client, Dan Condo. And we need to put a duration time in here, a default time. So we're going to put in 0.5 of an hour. And so that when we schedule this job, it'll default to a half an hour in the calendar. And then we'll be able to go from there and make it longer or shorter. Again, you can add some instructions for this particular QRID. So we give you the ability to add instructions 3 places: in the site, in the QRID, and in the assignment. The reasons for that is a client could have multiple sites. the QRID is always different for each client. It could be different for each site, so you may have specific questions. And when you do the assignment, you may have something special that came up prior to that assignment that you want to add in. We go to step 2, and again, it's a wizard. You can't jump to step 3. You have to start here. One thing to note is we don't have to choose a QRID checklist and build it from scratch, but the first time we will, and I'll show you how to copy an existing checklist later on in the video. So we've added templates to help you get started, generic. Remember, these are just to get you started. You can edit these, change these however you want. You can delete the whole thing. You can create your own once you're comfortable with the system. But for now, for this purpose, to get going, we're just going to choose a few basics. But for example, if I want to choose them all for home exterior, I click home exterior and it'll automatically add all of these questions and instructions to the QRID checklist. For now, we're going to just add a few questions to keep it simple for this demonstration. Next, we have yard. So what you have here is you have groups, subgroups, questions, conditional with conditional answers, and the orange is instructions. So you have the ability to tell people what to do or ask people what to do within the report. So for here, we're going to choose a couple of questions in yard, and as you can see, the templates that we give you to help you get started is pretty extensive. These are all pre-made, ready to go right out of the box to help you get started. And we'll give you some tips. One of the cool things about our software is that we allow you to have multiple checklists under one QR code. So for example, we have pre-storm, post-storm, maintenance, and time recording. These are pre-made in the system, right out of the box, ready to go. They're called Permatasks, which are globally shared checklists. These allow you to go to a property and you're not always going for a home watch. So why would you do a home watch report if you're there to let a plumber in to repair a toilet or to do routine maintenance or go and drive a car? Those are things that you wouldn't, why would you fill out that home watch checklist? So we give you the ability to have multiple checklists under one QR code. Otherwise, you would have to have a QR code for time recording, a QR code for home watch, a QR code for maintenance job. So this is one of the unique parts of our software that which will allow you to run multiple services under one QR code. It's pretty cool. So we simply hit next to go now. We're going to go and customize. We're on the third and final stage of creating our first checklist, and we simply expand all. Now remember, there is a video here to help you along all the way through in case you get stuck or you forget how to do something. We've now have our standard templates in our first checklist, but we want to customize it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new group. We're going to actually add 2 new groups, and we're going to call one home interior, and you must always check the checkbox in order to save your changes. And here we're going to call this the garage. At any time where you see the preview button, you can click on the preview button and it'll show you what checklist you've just built and how it's working. So we're going to add a question first. So here you have the options is to preview this group. You have the option to expand or minimize. You have the option to add a subgroup. You have the option to add an instruction, and you have the option to add a question, or you can delete this question. So for now, we're going to add a subgroup. We're going to call this kitchen, and we're going to add another subgroup in there called bathrooms. And remember to check the checkbox. Once we've done that, we want to now start adding our questions. So we go to kitchen and we hit the Q for ask a question. And the first question we're going to ask is, are there any leaks? And we hit the checkbox. Now this is a conditional question. So if we answer this, if we answer yes, we want a photo and we want a comment. Okay, so let's preview that. So we arrive at the property and we say, are there any leaks? And if we say no, nothing happens. If we say not applicable, nothing happens. But if we say yes, it prompts us for an explanation, and we have the option to add a photo. And that's kind of how our conditional questions work. Next, we're going to add another question for the kitchen. So we just go up to the gray sub group bar, click the Q, and we're adding our second question. The question here we're going to say is, did you run the taps and was there any leaks? Remember to check the box. And if we say yes, again, we want a comment, photo and a comment. You have the option to, please explain where the leak was found. You can give more details in these boxes. For this particular one, we want to add an instruction. For this question, if leaks found, and we add that in. Now let's see how our checklist is evolving. Excuse me. So here we have our two questions we've just created. Are there any leaks in the kitchen? If we answer no, no problem. If we go and say, did you run the taps and was there any leaks? And if you answer yes, it says if leaks found, call the plumber. You have to acknowledge that. Then you put in the details, found a leak, and you enter it in. And this is a preview window for you. At all times you can keep going back and forth in your checklist to see how you're doing and how it's laid out. So now that we've created our first two questions, we can now start building our checklist. But for example, if we don't like the layout, if you lay your questions out as if you're walking through the property, maybe the first thing you want to do before you check for leaks is you want to run all the taps. So you just simply drag and drop your questions within each subgroup, and you can organize them as you would walk around through the property. So once we've created our checklist, we can always come back and edit it later. The next thing we're going to do before we go ahead and complete this QRID setup in our checklist, we have the option to add photos as reference photos. This is a really good feature when you have a home watch property that you're looking after. You take reference photos, and the example we always give is many years ago when we first developed the software, and in our testing we had a client that arrived back from being in Arizona all winter. They called us and were very disappointed. They apparently had something missing at their property, and so we right away went over to their property and we pulled up our reference photos, and it turned out that there was nothing missing. Unfortunately, the lady that owned the property was a longtime client, was at the beginnings of Alzheimer's. But we were able to get ourselves out of a bad situation with those photos and show that nothing was missing. It was as is when they left. So you just simply click on add a photo, and you choose add a new photo, and you choose where your photos are, upload them, and those will always be in your system for reference. You can upload those every year excuse me, as you renew your contracts with your clients. And you have the details here to confirm everything about this particular CRID. And now we'll just simply create the CRID checklist. What you see now is basically the same information that you're going to find on your phone or on your tablet or your iPad, whatever you choose to use. So you have all the details with the alarm code. You have a map. You can also get directions on your device, or you can click it now and it'll take you to Google Maps and give you directions from wherever your current location is. You'll notice that the instructions we put on the site show up here, and we also have our choice of multiple checklists. So for example, if I'm going there for a time recording to let in a plumber, I simply choose this checklist after I've scanned the QR code, and it says, are you supervising a contractor work for a client? If I say no, then I can just fill out, there's just a standard comment box in photos, or I can say yes, and it says please indicate what type of service. Here we're going to be supervising a plumber. Please put the contractor's details in, so it's ABC Plumbing, and I can continue on with add photos before, during, and after the job and complete, and this records my time on site, and I can submit that to the client as a report to show that I've been there, the details on what we did, and send them that. Again, if I'm going there for a post-storm check after a major storm, the questions are set up different in our template that we give you to use in Permatasks that are globally shared checklists. So is there any damage to the yard? If I say yes, it prompts me, but if I say no, and you can quickly get through a report this way. The minute you find some damage, are there any damages to the interior of the home? Yep. Please take pictures and describe, found a leak. And so this gives you the opportunity to send your clients a report based on what you're there for, not just a home watch. So now that we've created this really cool checklist and we're ready to get going, you now want to assign this. All we have to do is simply go to the assign. There's 3 different ways to assign, make an assignment in the scheduler. You can start, this is number 1. You can assign it here by simply clicking on the assign button, and the information comes up automatically. The information on the details, it's a home watch, it's in zone 1, and we just simply choose the reporter, and we'll choose tester 5, and you click on the green box and drag it to a date in the future. For this purpose, we'll say we want to be there at 6 p.m. And we want it to repeat every week. We want to choose it to go until December 31st. The client's coming back on the 1st of January. It's a condo. It automatically takes that 1 hour, and we can put in an instruction in here. On this particular day, we want you to water the flowers. It's just an extra note, and we simply create it. And now we can go up to the month view, and you'll see that each week it's scheduled. If we can't make it on the 2nd, what we do is we simply drag it, drop it, and it comes up. We'll save it that we moved the 2nd, and we're going to say only this instance that we'd like to save it, and you'll notice that it moves it on the map. One of the neat things is that be coming out very soon in the future is color coding and a lot more features with the scheduling. Now that we've scheduled it, we can go over to our dashboard, and now you'll see that we have it on the map. We show it in our current assignments, and if we click on the box on the map, It shows the information. We can click on it. We can view the information, especially if you have multiple assignments on the map. You can definitely go and choose each one, see what's going on. Remember, as you scan the QR code on the site, it'll turn to purple in progress, and when it's completed, it'll turn to gray. And at this point, we don't have any latest reports. So what we are now is we're ready to scan a QR code and do a report. So we want to print off our QR code. So we'll go to all CRIDs, and if we wanted, we could search for Dan, Daisy Lane, and filter it. And if you had multiple clients, and it'll show up. And we have the option to choose the word here, Dan Condo, for the CRID name, or we can come in here and we can choose to view the CRID, we can edit, we can schedule it again, and we can print the CRID card. This is the CRID card, and it has the information that you're going to place at your client's property, or you have the option to print it off as a 3.5 by 2, which is a business card size. And once we do that, we print it off. You have the option to laminate it and place it at the client's property. A lot of condos and a lot of homeowners associations won't allow you to put anything on the outside of the property. So we recommend is you print this off as a business card size, laminate it, take a hole punch, put a hole in it, and then put it on a keychain, a key ring, and keep that in your vehicle. So when you pull in the driveway, you're inside that 500-foot perimeter, you scan the QR code, and you go ahead and do your report right from there, and the QR codes are nice and dry and safe in your property, in your vehicle. Now, if by chance the QR code gets corrupted, gets damaged, or got moisture in it, we have the ability in the mobile apps to enter the CRID number and gain access in case the QR code is damaged. You have the option, if you're not using the mobile apps, if you're using the web-based version, we encourage you to use the mobile apps. That's why we built them, and they're a lot superior than the web-based version. But you can type in this URL link to gain access to. If you're in Google Chrome, you put that in, and it's just like scanning the QR code. So it's a backup in case your QR code gets damaged. This came about because we had an incident where we had a QR code at a property, and we left it there, and it got moisture and got corrupted. We went out there, scanned the QR code, it wouldn't work, and we had to come all the way back to the office, print off a new credit card, go back out and scan it and do the job. So we came up with this method, so as a backup, you don't have to. But you'll notice the information is very vague. If it's left somewhere or if it's lost, it's just the customer ID, no name. It's a site name. It's great. It's like a mailbox, and it's very limited information about the property. So we're ready to scan a QR code and do a report. Now we're ready to scan the QR code. After we install the app on our phone, it's going to prompt us to enter our company information. So the very first thing you're going to do is we have to enter in the company subdomain. So the first thing is, and that's what makes yours unique. So at the beginning up here, you'll see HTTPS, whatever you use for your subdomain, and then QRIDitHomeWatch.com. So for us, we're going to put the word quick in there. That's our subdomain, and that's what makes our system unique from everybody else's. We'll put in our email address. And we'll put in our password. And now this password and email address have to be the same as what you used when you set up your account, or it won't allow you in. So once you've done that, you sign in. If there's any problems, it'll let you know. Once we're in, the very first thing we need to do is jump to settings. and we're going to refresh checklists. So refresh checklist. The reason why we have to do that manually is when you build a mobile app, they give you 30 seconds for an auto update. And once you have a large database of checklists, there's no way it'll update and refresh the checklist automatically in 30 seconds. So you have to do that manually. Remember, if you change any of your checklists in your system to make sure all your reporters, your managers, anybody using the mobile app actually goes in and manually updates refreshes the checklist each time you make a change in the system. These two features here, reports and assignments, you can actually use the mobile app without using your data plan. If you simply turn this button off, it will only work on Wi-Fi. And so you can actually go to a client's property if they have Wi-Fi and use it without using your data system. And so your data plan on your phone or your whatever mobile system you're using. Or you can choose to leave this on. It's not a lot. Our reports are not large files. Unless you have 20, 30 pictures on there, it's going to get rather large. The assignments, again, assignments are automatic, so you can actually turn that off and manually extract your assignments. Now remember, we talked about manually entering the URL. Well, on the mobile apps, you don't have to do that. It's going to prompt you. It already gives your subdomain. All you have to do is enter your CRID ID, and for this case, it's CRID number 1. We go back to settings. Basically, it has your account information. You can log out here, and it gives you the version that you're using for this for your app. The next thing we want to do is we go to assignments, and we just put our finger about an inch down from assignments and drag the screen down. These are standard drag features in all iOS and in some Android apps. You'll notice that it says that this is the assignment that we created earlier in the tutorial, and all you do is put your finger on it in the middle, slide it to the left, and now you can confirm the assignment. And you can see the details, and this is what this person will see that's going to the site. They can see that the address, the client's name, it's the CRID name. It starts, it's scheduled at 6 p.m. Now remember, you have 6 hours before and 6 hours after each assignment time in order to complete that assignment. You don't have to do it right at 6 p.m. The estimated time is 30 minutes. The status is open. Here's the notes, water the flowers, and you must park on the left entrance. So for this purpose, we're going to say, we need directions to the place. I'm new. I click on directions. Now, obviously, where I am right now, it's not going to show it for this, but in the next tutorial, where we have an individual tutorial for the mobile apps, we'll show how the directions work. And then you can open it in GPS, and it gives you directions right to the site. So once we've done that, we've got our directions. We go to our assignments. We know where we got to go. We know the duration, but you'll notice that there's no confidential information at this point. In order for you to get the alarm codes and everything, you need to scan the QR code. But this gives you the information to get you to the site. So now that we're there, we have unsubmitted reports and submitted reports. This is unsubmitted. If you go to a site, there's no Wi-Fi. You scan the QR code. There's no data, and it's going to do a diagnostics over 90 seconds, and it's going to try to confirm and look for a GPS fix. And after 90 seconds, if it doesn't get it, it'll let you in. What it's looking for is to make sure you're not trying to cheat, to get outside of that 500-foot perimeter. What it's doing is it's checking your phone to make sure that your location services are turned on. It'll keep trying for 90 seconds. After that, it says, okay, you must be there. It'll allow you in. So let's go ahead, and we're going to scan the QR code. It's pulling up the checklist, And here you can see you have the options to either accept your assignment at what you're there for, which is a home watch, or you can now choose a pre-storm, post-storm maintenance job, or time recording. These are our Permatasks that we've added to this checklist. So for this purpose, we're going to choose our assigned job. And now we can go to the top of the app and we can get the information that we need, and that's the alarm code to gain access to the property. And again, it has a summary. Here's the full address where you're at, the alarm company, the safe word, and here's your notes that that the manager or the admin's added for the reporter to see. So once you've done that, we go into the report and it's just simply answer the questions. So I'll answer a couple with please explain. So the question was exterior doors and windows checked and all okay. Say no. So we're going to tell the client we found a cracked window. We're going to add a photo. So we'll take a photo and we'll take a picture of the screen, and we're going to use that photo, and that photo was successfully updated. We're going to answer the questions. Everything's fine, and you'll notice that here this is an instruction, it's not a question. Check and click the mail, yes. And these are the questions that we created in the tutorial, and we can answer them. Yes, we found a leak. Yep, I called the plumber, and the leak is on the tap. So the next question will say no, everything's fine. We never did make anything for the garage, and then please add additional comments. So this is an optional section. You don't have to put anything in here, and this is for optional photos. Once we're done, we hit I'm done, and now that report is in a queue. If we open it, you can see it's sending. We recommend that you stay on your Wi-Fi or on your data. Try not to move around while you're sending the report. Once the report's submitted successfully, it tells you your report's done. That's it. You move to the next job and off you go. Now we'll go in and look at our reports in the system. So now we're ready to go and look at our dashboard, and we can see that we've completed the report. It's now in our latest report. The current assignment has disappeared. The marker on the map is gray to indicate that it's completed. And now we just simply show the report. We read down through the information. We can see that the arrival time on site was at 16:42. We submitted at 16:44, and we time logged 2 minutes and 14 seconds. We've got confirmation on the map that shows we were there, our longitude, latitude for the client, and the photo is there. The information on the report, anything that's red is flagged as an issue. So the client, it draws you to that issue. And now here there's no general comments added. Now one thing I want to show everybody is, remember, this information is what the admin or the manager sees. The client sees very little information. So remember what you're seeing here, this is the client's view. The client only sees the report ID, the site, the QRID name, and what time the report was submitted. And you can now see the client sees the map, the photos, and the information in the report. So the next step is to go back to the report details for the admin, and we now want to submit this to the client. We've read through the report. We know that there's a leak, and so, hi client, we found a leak. And that's it. We put the details in and we click submit. Now your client will receive an email, an automated email notifying them that the report has been sent. And once they get that, they have the option to click that email, log in, see the report, and then send you a comment back. And that's what we're going to do next before this, to show you what the client sees and also show you how they respond back to you, and so that you can correspond back and forth and keep all of your information in one convenient place. You're not having to look for emails, you're not having to look for texts and everything. It's all in one convenient place. Dan is our client, and this is the automated email that he's received to set up his new account. So let's go ahead and activate his account. He has to put his password in twice, just like we did when we started out, just like the reporter does. You have to put in their password. So we'll put in the password, and this is exactly what your client will have to do in case they give you a call. And once they're in, no thanks, they're a pro already. So you can see already that their first report is already in there and our first inbox message is already there. They have a tutorial on the client intro video. This is the video that we give everybody for free to show your clients the benefits of you using our software for them. We encourage you to add this to your website, and when you talk to your new clients or your existing clients, you show them that video. Sorry to jump away from the theme. The client will now open their report and they'll see that, you were there on November 25th at 16:44 is when you submitted the report. There's proof that you were there. Their photo is there. They can click on it and open it. But here's the highlight: is they see that there's something wrong because it's highlighted in red, and then now you've made a comment and said, "Hi client, we found a leak at your property today. We called the plumber." The client, now all they have to do now is the client to correspond with you. They don't have to do an email. They don't have to do anything. They can just simply go here, type in hi. You type it in. They submit that report. That's it. That's all your client has to do to now correspond. Now you'll notice that each comment is collected, the date it was received, and the date the report was submitted. This is good information the client has here. The client can also manage their sites. If you have a client that has multiple sites, they can always pull up all their reports. They can filter dates. They have a lot of options within the owner's system on their dashboard. And they, again, here they have their inbox with their messages to correspond back and forth. I'm going to log out now, and I'm going to log back in as the admin to show you back on what the dashboard is. And here you go. Now you have your first message in your inbox, and we just click on the message and you'll receive an automated email notifying you that this client has just sent you a comment. And here's the comment, hi, thanks for the update and the report. So that's how the system works in a nutshell. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you've signed up for QRS reporting software. We'd like to thank you for choosing us. We're always evolving the software based on your feedback. We really like you to give us your input and feedback. Without it, we're just another software. So thanks again. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns about the software, contact us anytime. We'll be glad to help you out. Thanks again.